My journey begins with a plane flight from the capital Khartoum across a vast desert to Nyala in South Darfur. It's a dusty regional centre full of bumpy, unpaved roads. Nyala is surrounded by camps which hold 250,000 displaced people. We're on our way to Otash camp, home to an estimated 57,000. It appears out of the desert. The conditions are just pitiful. It's rare to see someone with a camera here, and people are eager to show me their awful situation. Okay. Oh baby.
أول حاجة ما شفت لا حاجة باكلوا ولا بيشربوا ولا بيوت يا جماعة. يعني هسه كده محيونين زي ده كده بقى لنا قعدت هسه أنا في الحتة دي 4 شهر. إن شاء الله ما صرفنا ولا حاجة واحدة. 4 أشهر. شوف يعني شديد. راقدين في التراب اللي النزلة وأمراض عمل لهم ما في حاجة. والله تعبانين.
For years, the Sudanese government and its militia allies, the Janjaweed, have been attacking civilians, trying to dislodge a rebel movement.
Did they die, many of her friends?
Yes. In the camp كده 4 friends died
So they
there.
cut the noses?
أوه ممكن كتولا 4 وخامس ده هسه تعبان أذان كله قطوه.
يا أماني كم الناس اللي ماتوا كتار؟
والله كثير.
And now the situation is even more complicated as rebel groups turn on each other and civilians in a battle for power.
So we have a situation now in Darfur where there are certainly more than a dozen and quite possibly more than 20 different rebel factions. Some very, very strong with large areas of control and quite a strong military influence. Others very, very small and constantly changing, constantly building alliances. Alliances are constantly shifting. It makes it a very complex environment to operate in, but it also makes it increasingly difficult in terms of the peace process.
This camp has been here for 5 years, long enough to establish a busy market.
Beautiful things there. Very nice.
You can even purchase a handmade knife or a mobile phone. As I tour the camp, I'm confronted by stern-looking government security officials. They say I'm not allowed to film and want to know what I'm doing here, even though I'm with a government minder.
ويعد شبكة SPS من أهم المؤسسات التي تحظى بمشاهدات كبيرة في معظم دول العالم، وأوصت سفارتنا بباريس بضرورة تسهيل مهمته وتذليل كافة العقبات التي تواجهه. ونحن نقترح.
My documents seem to satisfy them, but I quickly learn that nothing occurs in Darfur without the say-so of officials like these. I'll be stopped many times during my visit.
Is security good in this camp?
Yes.
Is the security good here?
Yes.
No problems?
No problem.
Good.
The massive relief effort to keep the displaced people alive is coordinated here in Nyala by the Government Humanitarian Affairs Commission, known as HAC.
David.
Good morning, Secretary General.
How are you?
How are you, sir?
Fine, good.
And
this is Al-Hadi Ahem Ali, the Secretary General of HAC. He's the man everyone wants to see.
Busy day today?
Yeah, it's a really busy day today.
How many meetings today?
5 meetings.
There's a constant stream of visitors of all nationalities. The sheer size of the refugee problem has all but overwhelmed the bureaucracy. There's a lot of people who wait a long time here to get their problems addressed. It's where I'll spend many hours over the next few weeks waiting for permission every time I want to visit another camp.
Been waiting here now?
Yes.
For 4 hours. 4 hours.
The next day, I make my way into the Secretary-General's inner sanctum. They're working out details on food delivery. They may be busy, but there's still time for refreshments.
David. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
The Secretary-General says that more than 20,000 people have been returned to their villages in South Darfur. He puts a positive spin on the number, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to the hundreds of thousands still in the camps. And each day brings new problems. More internally displaced people, or IDPs, are on the move again.
We have a new influx of IDPs, and we are going to make an assessment. And in this assessment, we are trying to find out what the reason behind this new, displacement. The rainy season last year was not good, and because of that rainy season, now the prices of crops is getting very high, and now it's triple. It's getting 3 times than before. And this is really a big challenge, to us.
It will slow things down, obviously.
Yeah. It's really it's going to complicate the situation even more.
Okay, we're going. We got a taxi?
Yes.
Eventually I'm provided with a taxi and a government minder for a visit to another camp, Al-Salam. There are 50,000 people here who receive food 3 times a month. The camp manager is recounting how he's taken on the aid agencies. These sheikhs are responsible for their people in the camps. Again, the problem is food.
ادوا للناس ما عندكم نقول احنا ما عندنا وما نديك الزول الثاني هو حر لكن ما تقول احنا نديك ما نديك بكره نديك وما نديك طول المسافه.
My government minder seems keen to take me away from this scene.
We're going in a minute. Yeah, we got time.
Just next to here, the food distribution has begun. Supplying food to Darfur costs $500 million a year. With food prices soaring, the UN says it hasn't got enough money to meet its global food aid commitments. A serious food shortage here would cause even more instability. As I look around, there are so many people in the camps. I wonder if there's anybody left in Darfur's towns and villages.
There's 2 million people who are living in camps. Now, Darfur only has a population of about 6 million. Another 2 million of those live in towns and urban areas. So, you know, the number of villages has greatly reduced because so many have been attacked. Niala city stretches all around here, so it's just on the edge of the city.
Alun McDonald from Oxfam has been in Darfur for 2 years. He knows the situation well, but you won't hear the NGOs criticising the government. They fear they might be thrown out of the country, leaving the refugees stranded. Here's his response to a straightforward question about the government and the security situation. Can the government handle it? Is it too big for the government to control?
Can we cut that question?
Yep, right. You don't want that answer. It's a bit difficult, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
To give up.
Right. The next day, I'm back at HAC, the government's humanitarian agency. This meeting is with the many NGOs working here to discuss the so-called technical agreements for delivering aid.
But as I said, that these technical agreements, to sign them, we need to form a committee.
The NGOs are frustrated by the government bureaucracy and the endless passes and permits they need for their work, not to mention the security situation getting worse. One bold aid worker raises the unspoken issue.
We are not talking about security, about banditry, about the fact that so many things happen that you can never go with your car without being sure that it will not be taken, to the fact that an ICRC colleague was killed the day before yesterday, that 26 WFP trucks have been kidnapped, that something like 18 drivers are missing, that, you know, maybe we have not, we cannot be catastrophists. We have to identify positive spaces for working, but I think it is fair at this point also to look into the difficulties of these people, both legal and practical.
We have really done all that we can to support the NGOs, to coordinate their efforts, to help them, you know, and to see, to oversee the security and all the regulation that they need to implement the projects. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this meeting, and I do appreciate your efforts, and we hope that...
But talk of security problems doesn't discourage the Secretary-General from giving me a personal tour. Today he's taking me to a village that's been resettled. It's an opportunity to put some gloss on the Darfur situation.
This is the security of protecting the people.
Oh, good. We have a look at that. Yeah. That's important. Okay, these are protecting the people, are they?
Yeah. These are...
That's nice to see. They're your people?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
government people, yeah. The security is the Sudanese army, and soon we have to stop. I'm about to learn who wields the power around here.
هل نروح الطريق؟ عارفين لما طلعنا من اللي شفته؟ لكن في النهاية اكتشفناكم واخذنا لفة جاي ما هو اليوم انت لو ما عارفين ماشيين الذين بدون دليل ما ماشيين نحن عند قرى طوعية بس اي حتى لازم تجيبات تبرد يعني احنا اصلا لما جينا عينا جبنا البلاد جينا راجعين لفينا جايين ما جايين ما جايين الحقوق ما قلت لك انا بنطلع.
Eventually we're allowed on our way.
وين ده؟ اليوم ما جيت بالتجارة.
The Secretary-General clearly doesn't carry any weight with the military, and soon after we're pulled over again by a very suspicious soldier. Despite his reservations, he lets us pass.
In 2003, this place has been completely destroyed by the rebels. They came back in 2006. 2006, they came back to their village.
It's pretty secure now, not much fighting.
It's secure. I mean, the military you have just seen, they're protecting them. And actually, the government has built these schools, quality gym. كيف يا شيخ؟ السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. نهارك شلون طيب؟ كيفك؟
The government is happy for me to film out here, a chance for some positive publicity, given they stand accused of having blood on their hands in Darfur.
They want also, the primary health care center to be opened.
Yes.
And when I go back, I will try to read it to find out that they will send them, that they will, what is happening. Right. And also regarding this water, they think that the water problem is not fully solved, and also in promising that, when I go back, I will try to find a solution for them.
I develop respect for the quietly spoken Secretary-General. He seems genuine enough, grappling with a massive problem he didn't create. But he's also a senior government official in the region, and he runs the government line at this meeting.
ولكن الآن نحن برضو رسالة إعلامية نوصلها للمجتمع الدولي وللناس في خارج السودان بأنه نحن كحكومة بعدين جهد ما عادي، وفي نفس الوقت كمان نحن الناس تفهم الحقيقة، ما الرسالة تبقى كلها كده إشاعات إعلام ساكت.
If Darfur's crisis is a media beat-up, what about well-researched reports which say that 200,000 people have died as a result of the fighting?
There are a lot of figures, but these figures are unreliable figures, actually. And
are they?
Yeah, they're unreliable figures. And these are, of course, that to serve some agenda, it seems to me that to serve some other agenda, and it's not true. No.
The other day we spoke about the Janjaweed.
Yeah.
And there has been for years people been saying outside here that the government was backing the Janjaweed.
Well, actually, this allegation of the government backing the Janjaweed, it's not true. This term has been used by the rebel forces, by the rebel movements, to embarrass the government, and to put the government in, to push the government in a tight corner. That's the real thing.
How is the current situation?
Well, the current situation is now there is a ceasefire between the government and the rebels. Security is okay. Well, it's very good, and the situation is the situation is stable, and there's no real problem.
If South Darfur is secure, as the government says, then these people haven't been told. Today I'm at a meeting in another camp called Sakali.
Find out what your needs are.
Patricia Drain from Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, is receiving some disturbing information about yet another influx of displaced people who've just arrived out of the desert.
In addition to these 25 families, what these guys are saying is another 47 families have arrived. And
Arrived from where?
Arrived from this place called...
The village that was burnt down?
Yeah.
Just recently?
So
fighting's still going on around here, of course?
It's quite far, it is quite far, but it is.
In South Darfur?
Yeah.
It's a very different security picture than the one painted by the hack Secretary-General. And again, it's the innocent people suffering.
And when you speak to them, it is, why have you moved? Two reasons, is insecurity and food. and a lot of the time the food is a problem because of the insecurity. They can't get out to their crops, they can't harvest them because they are attacked as they're trying to harvest their crops. So they have food sitting there sometimes and they can't get to it.
These are patients waiting to get into the MSF clinic. And now we're on our way to speak with the 47 families who've walked to the edge of the camp. They were attacked 12 days ago by the Janjaweed militia and forced to flee their village. They've been walking ever since. They tried to get into other camps, but no one would take them. Now they've stopped, exhausted, under a tree.
As we're a medical agency, we have no food, we have no shelter, but what we do have, and I encourage you to go, is we have a medical clinic not so far away, which is open today, tomorrow and the next day. Please come, bring your children, let us check you out.
Back at the MSF clinic, they described the attack.
الناس ديل ناس جنجويد جو بأسلام وحسين والجمال شفتها جو بجوا بس يعني بهرقوا البيوت كلكم انت راجل مقتروب.
How many did they kill?
37 نفر.
37 ما 38 مش؟
لا 37.
They killed 37 people.
And it seems the Janjaweed are never far away. The MSF translator tells me these are their camels grazing on a ridge just outside the camp, a move meant to intimidate. Making South Darfur secure is supposed to be the responsibility of these troops. But today the UN Blue Helmets are out to meet and greet the locals. Also on hand is the Sudan Police Band. And there's a soccer match with some of the refugees. This is the UN's largest ever peacekeeping mission. There's 7,000 multinational troops in place and another 20,000 supposedly on the way.
UNAMID is a friend of all and an enemy to none.
UNAMID, a friend to all and an enemy to none.
Yes, peace process is going on and UNAMID police are accelerating the wheel of the peace process.
But the so-called peace process has stopped and started for years. Right now it's looking very shaky, and like many things to do with Darfur or the UN, you could never be sure the remaining peacekeepers will eventually turn up. Something that troubles the UNAMID South Police Commander.
We need more police, more soldiers to come in so that we can quickly make a difference because the expectation of the people of Darfur is so high.
Even as the dancing continues here, I learned that in West Darfur, the government and its militia allies are involved in a large attack. It's described by MSF as one of the most violent in years. Thousands more refugees have been forced across the border into neighbouring Chad.
We have a challenge, but with the help of the international community, with the cooperation of the people of Darfur, we'll be able to make a difference.
The ongoing tragedy of Darfur is that those suffering from the conflict have heard all this before.
They've been promised by the international community for the last 5 years that they will have protection, that there will be progress in the peace, but there hasn't been. They haven't seen the progress, so they're getting increasingly frustrated at the thought of not being able to go home and being stuck in the camps for years to come. Because Darfur at the moment, if you let it slide off the agenda, then it will continue to get worse, and the problems will continue.
The faces of Darfur, Mr. Patience David Brill, deep in the disaster.